Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 4 of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man.
Hello! I'm the good. I'm Ryan. I go by Youth Pastor Ryan. No, I'm not a real youth pastor. Yes, I definitely look like one. It's unfortunate.
I'm the Dan. I'm Dan Bam Bam.
And I'm Ben Brainard. I am the Florida Man because I live here and other reasons. We're all
As
comedians.
we discussed recently.
If you listen to last week, you'll understand why. We are all comedians, and therefore we are all trying desperately to tell you jokes in places. So, Ryan, do you have any shows coming up?
Well, I'm going to go back to California, which means that we can kind of work out again, which is nice. But no, I do all my college shows online at the moment. You can book me through Neon Entertainment. Or I've got online shows, so you can check that out at youthpastorryan.com for whatever that's going to be the next one that's coming up.
Dan?
And I book shows locally that you probably won't see information about unless you are following me. So follow me on Instagram.
Perfect. And I have a few shows coming up because I live in the South. April 17th, I'll be in Vegas at the Notoriety Theater. June 6th, I'll be at Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters. June 16th, I'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Hilton Garden Inn Daytona Beach Oceanfront. That's the full name. I did not make it. July 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the True by Hilton Atlanta Galleria Ballpark. Y'all need to stop. And then November 12th to the 14th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale at Anime Con, which is in the Marriott North Hotel.
You would be an anime comedian.
I
would love
agreed
that.
to this like a year and a half ago.
That's so cool.
And I just keep forgetting that I'm on it. So I feel like if I keep saying it on the podcast, it's impossible for me to forget that I'm going to be there.
Anime Con.
I just can't wait to see you in anime hair. I think that's going to be like, I want you to just be super
You think I don't already
staining.
just have anime hair, Ryan?
I mean, you got good hair, but I'm talking like, boom. Like,
I'll grow it out. I'll grow it out for November.
it would be amazing.
I would like to see Ben with bleached hair, like Dragon Ball Z.
I'll do it.
I thought you were
Like
talking
that,
like
yeah.
Backstreet Boys, like some frosted tips. Oh, that's what I want to see. I don't know.
I'll do it. Look, I
Yes.
have been
Fashion
out of the
forward.
army for 20 days now at the time of recording this podcast, so I can absolutely get frosted tips. I'm gonna
Wait,
try
are you
and
not
look
allowed-
like old
No, you
Justin
can't get frosted
Timberlake.
You can't get frosted tips in the army?
You can't do anything. It has to be
you
one color,
imagine?
and it has to be a
What?
natural color, and you can't even do like fad haircuts. Like I can't get a line in the fade or anything.
Just imagine, by the way, someone just sprinting towards some random like terrorist, and all of a sudden they're just like, "Is that frosted tips? Like, am I getting attacked by America in the
I
90s?
can't
That's
take
so
this
much
war
scarier,
seriously. I
right?"
can't take it seriously. I can't shoot people with frosted tips. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
run up,
exactly.
you run up to a U.S. soldier, and he just looks at you and goes, "It's gonna be me." Oh, we're gonna jump into this new segment that we have this week called "Did Anything Happen This Week?" In your life. It's still running. We have to work on the title
We
of it.
do.
Did anything interesting happen this week to you, Ryan, that's not big enough for story time?
Yeah, bar none. If you don't know Jake, bar none. He set Beer Bong John on fire, and I was there for that. And that's not a near-death experience enough for me to consider that a story time.
right.
Yeah.
So it's on video.
No, I wish. So we're sitting out by in my backyard. It's me, Beer Bong John, bar none, your narrator from YouTube, and the Snickle. And so
Okay.
we're all chilling, and my mom comes out, and the fire is not catching great, and so she hands bar none. She's like, "Here's a cup of gasoline." And me and narrator just start running because like bar none is
Absolutely.
a wonderful person but chaotic energy. And so
Yeah.
I start running. I turn around and I just see John on fire because he thrown it wrong and it bounced. And then the gas got on John, and so my mom is trying to put out John. Like she's just slapping the crap out of him. And he's out, but she's still slapping him. It was
Do
ridiculous.
you think we can bring Beer Bong John onto the cast next week to talk about being lit on fire?
Oh, I hope so. If he's home, he'll definitely be able to
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
All right. We'll see if that can happen. Dan, did anything happen to you this week?
We started fostering a dog, me and my roommates. Her name is Abby. She's 9, and she is incredible. Like, she got like a little bit of cancer removed from her
You just
leg.
chop off the whole arm, right?
She just got a little bit of cancer. Not a lot of it. Like
Just a little cancer in the leg. But yeah, so we've basically just been watching her, making sure she doesn't lick the wound too much. But she is incredible. I'm going to be posting pictures of her and links to where you can adopt her. Because we're only looking after dogs for every 2 weeks. So
Okay.
we'll have a new dog every single week.
So when this episode airs, if you want, we can just post a picture of that dog on the Instagram.
Oh, that would be
on the
that'd be
gram,
awesome.
and we'll
On the gram!
Gotta follow us on the gram to see the foster dog licking her cancer wound. Or not.
we need,
like,
we need
you know,
to get better advertisements for the
That's
gram.
the kind of content we put out here on GDFM.
I shouldn't be a copywriter. Too honest. A few things happened to me this week. My best friend just got married. Shout out Kobe and Cassidy. I'm not gonna throw their last name out there, but they know who they are.
Yeah. Did you go to the wedding?
Of course I went to the wedding. I was in the wedding.
Okay. Okay, there we go. For some reason, you just said it like he got married.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
yeah.
That's like your wedding present is like, shout out Kobe Cassidy.
No, I
Here's some
meant
clout.
I'm at the
Why'd you
age
cross
where all of my friends are.
I'm white.
Dan's just throwing up gang signs he saw in a YouTube music video one time, and he's just like, "Yeah, this is
what you do, right? Yeah.
I'm at that age where all of my friends are getting married right now.
Dude,
so
same.
I've been to like 3 weddings in the past 2 years, which I guess isn't a whole lot, but like it's 3 more weddings than I've been to in my entire life. And they're all happening in 2 years. And they're all like young people getting married for the first time, so it's just like extravagance. It's just
Getting married for the first time.
I know statistics.
Oh my
But
god.
like they invite like anybody who's ever smiled at them. So like everyone's
Yes.
there. They
Yes.
go all out on the venue, and it's great, and it's a lovely time, and everything looks beautiful and amazing, and everyone has a great time. But like, boy, is it a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I'm on the flip side, especially just because in Mormon culture, you get married at like 21. Like everyone gets married. So now all I'm experiencing is all my friends are getting divorced. And that's a
Oh.
very different kind of story.
I don't think it probably ends in drinking and dancing.
No, it literally does.
Yeah,
We
so it's the same
celebrated
thing.
a divorce on Friday, and it was fantastic. We drank the night away. So, for the first
my
time.
gosh.
They're drinking for the first time. So
Well,
yeah.
I gotta be honest. I think that's how it should happen. You get a divorce. There's a divorce party. Like that
Absolutely.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. A couple other things, I guess, that aren't, I'll have more to tell about them. But I got a haircut, and it's not that crazy of a deal for most people, I don't think. But this is the first haircut I've had in over 6 years that wasn't regulated by the Army.
Oof.
So
Wow.
I was allowed to do whatever I wanted, and I walked in and I told the guy, I was like, "Hey, I don't need to do Army regulations. I'm gonna keep it a little long." And he was like, "I'm gonna give you an Army cut," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So
I was gonna say you had full freedom, and you were like, I want to look like a middle-aged dad.
I walked in, I was like, "Yo, let me get 3-to-1 fade, and I want it long on the top. So give me the fade first, and we'll figure out what we want." And then what I usually do is I'll do like the lesbian undercut because I look like one from the back. So I'll brush it off to the side and I'll get the undercut on one side. So he's like, "Do you want to blend it?" And I was like, "Yeah, blend it here, undercut here." And he was like, "Blend it everywhere." Got it. It was like
you
one
were
of
like a
those.
school that was teaching people how to cut hair, and this guy was like, "I just don't know what he's asking for." Like,
It was like one of those things where I was in the chair, and at one point I was like, "This is taking too long." And then he like spun me to face the mirror. I was like, "Oh, I get it now. He's been cutting too much." That
and
makes
this has
sense.
been bad.
Yeah.
I feel like I trust my barber though. Every time a barber.
I have to go get a barber
ones.
that I trust. Up until this point, I've just been like, "Give me the Army cut. Here's $20." So I have to go find like a guy that I trust now in Orlando. Oh, last thing happened yesterday for me. I performed stand-up comedy on TV for the first time last night.
Oh, wait, where?
Yeah,
Funny,
it's-
not famous.
Funny Not Famous is the name of the show.
Which is mildly insulting, but still funny.
It's on the Afro TV channel on Comcast. It's a channel that is like 90% watched by black people. Yes.
Okay,
I was the
wanna
only
make sure
white
that
person
that's good.
on the show. There was only one other white person in like the building, like one of the writers, and like it was. I had fun. Like it wasn't any different than any other show. But like people are gonna watch it at home, and be like, yeah, who's the next guy? Oh.
I gotta be honest, I love black crowds. Like for stand-up, they're fantastic. I love them. Like it's just so much fun.
When they laugh.
Because here's the thing. Is it's like you either win them over or you lose, and it's like intense and it's wonderful, and it's been I love it so much.
I can tell Dan is judging us for like some of the things that we just said. I don't know what it is, but he's got something to say.
I genuinely can't relate because I've only ever done stand-up in like this part of America, which is like Utah, Wyoming, all of this area. So I can't relate. So that's the only reason why.
Things like mostly black crowds, they are a lot more animated when they laugh. Like they'll physically hurt someone if they're laughing too. They'll slap people. Like they'll get up and run. White people don't do that too much. They
it's all the like.
Yeah,
it's the politeness to it. It's like, no, don't be that. We're here to have
like,
fun.
Come on.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
But then there's also
it's
the
like
element,
basically the dream audience, essentially.
If you go back and watch some of like the Kings of Comedy or like Night at the Apollo and stuff like that.
Night at the Apollo.
I grew up on Def Jam the whole time.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
We've had a couple of those rooms in Orlando pop up from time to time, and they're just like, yeah, it's gonna be Night at the Apollo in Orlando, and then people will go, and nobody's good enough to have a good night at the Apollo in Florida. It's like an open mic, so open micers will go up, and it's just like the crowd just boos them all night. And those shows haven't lasted
honestly,
more than
that's
like
like
3
what
or 4
I'm waiting
times.
for. I'm waiting for a full boo. I just want to get booed entirely.
It doesn't feel good, Dan. It doesn't.
I would thrive there. That's like my favorite kind of stuff. Is like when a crowd is against you. It's so fun.
It's almost.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like.
I just look too soft for people to boo, like genuinely.
Yeah,
like I realize why I don't
like,
get booed. They're like,
this
he's
boy is
sad.
going to destroy his life if we.
Yeah. What do we do with that 16-year-old boy? And it's like, I'm an adult.
Yeah. Ryan gets the last place in the track meet. Like
trophy.
Yeah, like if he comes in, if Ryan is bombing on stage, they'll treat him like he's coming in dead last at a track meet.
It's okay,
like,
bud.
Oh,
You're
you can
good.
do it. You're up there. You're trying. Yeah.
God, that's not wild.
Okay, we're gonna. It's gonna air this weekend, I think. I don't know. I'll put out more information when I get it. But with that being said, we're gonna jump right into story time. As always, I feel like we're gonna start with Ryan. I don't know.
That's fair. You know what? Every week we should just like roll for it. We should roll for initiative. Also, would it be cool to get like audio cues that take us through? It's like story time instead of just me and Ben going story time.
Story time.
Yeah.
Look, there's a band on TikTok, and if you don't know them, look up Lawrence the Band. They're amazing. I love them. They follow me on TikTok. When they first joined, like one of their videos came up on my For You page just by happenstance, and I love them. So I was like, this is amazing. I love you guys. And I'm pretty sure just by like the power of having the blue check mark that I totally don't deserve, they looked at my profile and they were like, wow, he's funny. We're going to follow him back. And I have like a really big crush on the sister in the band. Her name's Gracie. She's wonderful, has an amazing voice, incredible performer. I just have a big crush on her. And I just like we've talked like on TikTok back and forth. I want to get them on the cast to do like an interview thing, but I also want to like ask them to do music cues for us.
That would be awesome.
Honestly, yes.
But like I have to not be, because I'm so
Mainly
awkward. I can't just talk to the woman that I'm in love with, okay?
That's what I was gonna say. I mainly just want to do it so I can like give you an opportunity to talk to her, because that's clearly what you're designing right now.
By the way, right now, I hope she doesn't listen to this episode.
Absolutely not. No.
She's like, no, Ben, I know your true intentions.
This is the same thing when I was in love with Beth Stelling, and I still am. But like I would secretly like tweet about her, not in like weird ways. Just like, oh, her comedy is great. Like just watched her special and all this. And then I met her in LA. Before that, I found out she liked my videos. She thought my stuff was funny. She invited me to a show in LA. She hugged me, gave me her phone number. So now we're friends. And I'm like, I can't keep subtweeting Beth. She's my friend.
No, you can't.
I know this person now. I have personal experience with that. That's wild, dude.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, get musical cues by your.
Get musical cues.
We'll do a
Crush.
couple interviews first before I go out on a limb and ask to interview. I can't, dude.
Dan
stop.
Avoid
Like,
the inevitable. It's okay.
We could ask him. You know, me and Dan could ask him.
I already
let
have
us
the
ask.
rapport. You know, I just want to have a couple regular interviews before we do that, so that we don't mess it up.
Okay.
We're gonna bring
Whatever
Brainard
makes you feel
John
better.
on
Whatever
first.
makes you feel better, we'll do it.
We're gonna mess it up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, drowning is my story for today.
What a segue.
Yeah, I'm the Kool-Aid man when I segue. I'm just like, here we go.
What was that?
I didn't mean to just let that come out, but
I mean, it was beautiful, though.
Here we
it was
are.
everything. That should be our musical cue. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I was in someplace in Mexico. It all begins in some random place in Mexico. It was the island in Mexico, Cozumel. It was in Cozumel, Mexico. And
you could
I
have
was with
just
my
said
family.
the white place.
Yeah.
The place white people go in Mexico. I'd be like, Cozumel. And you'd be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're the aggressively Caucasian land. Like, yes, here I am. I'm like,
The people the place white people go and then say they've been to Mexico, even though they never left the island of Cozumel.
That's not wrong. That's not wrong. I've also been to Cancun, so I've been to the mainland. That doesn't make it better. It's not better.
That's like saying you've been to Florida and you spent your entire weekend at a resort in Disney World. You haven't been to Florida.
That's true. Yeah, so my parents, I don't know, it was like a spring break, and I'm like looking to relax, and my dad was like, hey, let's get scuba dive certified.
How long ago was this?
It's 4 years?
4 years?
ago?
Okay, so it's not like too
okay.
recent. It wasn't like last week.
No.
This isn't your I've been doing terrible
Did
things.
you almost lose Ryan last week?
Yeah, where did he go? The podcast almost became 2.
Yeah, you're talking way too casual about drowning that happened last week.
Yeah. I really do bounce back from like near-death experiences though pretty quickly. Like I am immediately down to clown right next.
The amount of times that you've had to have a near-death experience to just know that about yourself is too many, Ryan.
It is too many. It really is. We'll hopefully get through it. Oh man, I got a skydiving one that went wrong recently. That was recent. I'll talk about that one later.
We'll talk about skydiving, airplanes, but right now it's the drowning thing,
It's
Ryan.
the drowning thing. So I have insomnia, sleep paralysis, night terrors, sleep sprinting. I do everything. I got places to be when I sleep, and so you guys know that.
Do you
the
sleep
night before-
scuba now?
Kind of.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing, because I was like getting scuba dive certified, but I hadn't slept for like 2 days, and then we get up at 6 a.m., which is exactly what you want on spring break. And I jump into the pool, and our scuba diving instructor is like,
You went to spring break with your dad.
and my mom and my little brother. Guys, I did not have cool spring breaks.
That wasn't even what I was pausing for, but now it is.
Guys, I was not a cool kid, and I never wanted to disappoint my parents.
This
and
was
be
4
like, "Do you want
years
to come with
ago,
us?"
Ryan.
Yeah, I
You
only
had
had one cool
bodily
spring break that I
autonomy.
went with myself. Yeah.
I just wanted to pause.
I had no money. What was I gonna do? Just like it was either stay at home or go with my parents.
I wanted to
With
pause
my
because
parents.
you said you didn't sleep for 2 days, but the weird part is you woke up at 6 a.m. Like, that's what we should be concerned about there? Like, we were gonna like, oh no, not 6 a.m. Ryan, you haven't slept for 2 days.
No, I hadn't slept, and I didn't wake up at 6 a.m. I just stood up at 6 a.m. because I hadn't been asleep. But it's at 6 a.m., which is normally when I start to get a little sleepy. And so I go into the pool, and I got all my stuff on, and I'm good to go. And then I get into the pool, and the instructor is trying to like help my mom like get situated, and we're in the pool, and I just lay on the bottom of the pool. And if you don't know, like a scuba diving, like the breathing apparatus, it'll just stay in your mouth like real easy. So I just got real comfortable, and it was so nice, and I just fell asleep on the bottom of the pool. I fell full on asleep by a pool.
I feel like there's something to explore here. We just put the insomniac to sleep. The power of drowning, I suppose. Like it's
the almost approaching death that really just like gets to your mind. It's like the calming sensation of almost leaving my body.
Well, I feel like it's the kiss from the Dementor. Like halfway through, you're like, I guess this is fine.
Lean into it.
Well, so I was laying at the bottom of the pool. I just propped myself up, like with that breathing apparatus, like against the pool. I'm unconscious.
Wait,
I'm
you're
fully
sleeping
asleep.
on your stomach at the bottom?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I always sleep on my stomach, actually. So that's not the weird part. Like,
No. That for sure is the weird part.
He's just like
he's like looking like a Disney princess longingly looking out of a window. You're like Rapunzel in the tower, just maybe one day my sweet prince will come drown me.
One day my sleep will come.
It's like breathing apparatus to prop you up too. So either it was like this or it was just like
and got it closer.
I sleep on my stomach too, but I also sleep on a bed, like a soft surface with like a pillow for my face. You're just sleeping on the bottom of a pool on your, like, you're a straight line from your feet to your chin. That doesn't bode well for your spine, I don't think.
Honestly, I normally, like, for a while, I just slept on the floor. Like, I had a bed, but, like, I just don't sleep well in, like, normal places, so I would just sleep on the floor.
It sounds like you don't sleep at all.
Other people's nightmare is the sunken place, and you were just like, I am so at home here.
I am at peace. But anyway, so, fun fact, my little brother at that point, like, he's kind of swimming around, and then he notices that I'm not moving, and he pushes me, and I don't respond, and then he wakes me up, and he's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And I was like, sleeping. It was nice.
Yeah. What's it like to be woken up in water?
Let's put it like this. If you guys have ever slept on a waterbed, imagine sleeping in a waterbed. Like, that's what it was like. It was so nice.
My senses are bugging.
I do kind of wish I will say that this is a small desire. Like, I have been in the bathtub a couple times and been like, wow, I really could fall asleep here. But I've never been like, I want to be immersed in the water.
Well, they have those sensory deprivation tanks where you can just float in like a water tank without fear of drowning.
Wait, what? Like the Stranger Things?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
How do they hook that up to your face? I've never been in one of those.
I
kind of made my own. Is what happened.
You're just like, well, I have the parts. You're like the MacGyver of sleep deprivation tanks. They have to teach
also,
you.
That wasn't when I almost drowned, by the way. That was the normal part. That's the start.
Okay.
Because we then went on to actually go scuba diving later that day. And we get in the thing.
And nobody was like, maybe Ryan shouldn't do it today.
Well, no, because I needed to get my hours in so that I could be certified. You know, so they were like,
it sounds like you need to get your hours of sleep is what you were actually doing. They were like, yeah, did you get your hours of swimming? And you're like, Ryan's like, swimming?
Swimming, no. Sleep, yes. Wow, swimming.
I was in the water.
I just wasn't. Was I conscious for this? No.
Did I learn anything? Absolutely. It's comfortable.
It's so soft. So soft.
I'm glad they didn't take you in the ocean. Like, didn't immediately let you go into the ocean in that regard. Because, like,
well, they actually
that would have been a whole different story, I imagine.
They did. Is the thing. They as soon as we got up, my brother kicked me to wake me up so we could go to the ocean. Like, that's so we went. And we went to the ocean, and I was still probably a little delirious based on what you're about to hear next. And I fall back in, and we go like 100 feet underwater. And we're just doing our thing. We're just having a good time, and I'm like seeing eels and stuff.
Like, into the ocean or down into the ocean?
Down.
100 feet
we went
down.
Like a couple miles out, and then we went 100 feet down.
Are you not epileptic?
No, I'm not. My grandfather was, though. And that's actually how he died, believe it or not. Which is... He fell asleep and he fell to his death. Like, that's a very real part of it. Yeah.
And Ryan's just like, let me do this.
You're like, I'm falling asleep in the ocean. It's fine.
You're the Kylo Ren of falling asleep and dying. Like, my grandfather did it, so now I've got to do it.
So now I must do it.
Real man.
Dude, that's what happens. So normally I'm an insomniac, but essentially the way my insomnia works is once you hit a certain wall, it's like you're going to sleep. Like they're like, if you're up for 72 hours, all of a sudden your body is like, hey, night, chief, and then they just put you in a headlock.
For sure.
So
That's how all bodies work, I think. I don't even have insomnia, but I've definitely just been like, I'm done doing the awake thing now.
Yep, it's nighttime.
Your body just gives into the darkness. It's just like, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm Jay Chillin, and so I'm 100 feet underwater, and my parents are like giving me thumbs up and things like that. I wanted to show them that I was having fun, and I was like, you know what shows that you're having fun? Nothing like a smile.
Oh,
and so,
no.
Yeah, so I took out my breathing apparatus while we're 100 feet underwater.
Every time you tell a story on this podcast so far, it's just like, so we're doing a very normal thing, and then I made a bad decision. Like I had a bad idea, and I acted.
And I went for it. I was not afraid. I just went for it. And so yeah, I took it out. But and normally you can take it out, you can close your lips because this will you'll seal it. But I decided I need to show them a smile.
You got to show off them pearly whites in the bottom of the ocean.
I smiled 100 feet underwater, and the pressure is not chill with that. So I just start water just rushed into my lungs. Like I took 2 full things, and I'm 100 feet underwater. Ryan, so I can't go straight up, or I'll get the bends.
Absolutely, yeah. I will appear. But you went to an engineering, you went for engineering to college, yeah?
Yeah, to start with, yeah.
And you were 100 feet down under the ocean going, yeah, pressure's the same.
Smile! This is why I didn't graduate as an engineer. I was like, it's hard after a while.
Ryan's like, I never made it to fluid dynamics, okay? That's physics 1, dude.
Yeah, no, this is just stupid. And so, yeah, I smiled. I just, all that rushed in. And then I cleared, and thankfully I was able to put my stuff back in and kind of calm down. But yeah, that was kind of scary. So yeah, that was the time I almost. It was totally my fault too. That's the problem. It's it was definitely.
Yeah, no, we all realized that immediately. But there was that brief moment of panic where you're just like, "There's a lot of water in my mouth right now, and I'm terrified."
And I'm trying to breathe. And I'm and it's going, I took, oh my gosh, my stomach felt so bad afterwards because I was my stomach and then my lungs got some and I was like, oh, this is bad. But I was I gotta focus because otherwise I'm going to die.
Yeah, and your whole, haven't slept except for a couple hours in the pool for 2 days. Your brain was we are foggy. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. That's interesting, though. You said you had to clear it because they teach you those same procedure in the Army when you're wearing a gas mask. As soon as you see or hear the siren for gas, by the way, if you see gas, you don't yell first. You do this. You tap your shoulders with your arms a bunch of times to warn people, because as soon as you see it, you have to close your eyes and your mouth. Warn everybody else with a visual cue, then put on your mask and then yell gas, gas, gas. But before you start breathing through your mask, you put it on, strap it down, and then you breathe out as hard and as much as you can, because any gas that was already in the mask, you need to get out of the mask. So you clear it by breathing out as long and hard as you can, and then you can start yelling gas, gas, gas.
That's crazy. Also, I just want to point out, growing up, we didn't have McDonald's, and so we'd go to South Africa.
I'm really curious.
That's how we used to say, we see McDonald's. You're
McDonald's! Me and we're better fully confused. We're just wow, this is relate. McDonald's!
Yo, I was making just sending the army to...
I was like, what is Ben doing?
Sending the army to Zimbabwe, and just a little Zimbabwean kid running across the street McDonald's, and the army's gas, gas, gas. They're gonna tackle that kid and be get down.
Get down, sweetheart.
They're strapping a gas mask onto.
Oh man! So that was, and then so you were good after that. You cleared it, you breathed, and you're
cleared it totally fine. Got scuba dive certified. Still am to this day.
We should get that removed. By the way,
for
you
sure.
Slept through the course and tried to smile. 100 feet down.
How many hours did it require? Like, how many hours of training do you need for that?
Not how much were
like,
you there for. How much were you supposed to be there for?
Oh yeah, how much was I conscious? No, I actually don't know how much it was. I know that like they ran us through a program and it was a couple days.
Did they just take a couple of your 10,000 improv hours and they're like,
that's what they start out asking is, wait, how long have you done improv for?
Like, 10,000? Yeah, we're gonna need 6 of those.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that it's only an improver would be at the bottom of the ocean. It's like, I need to smile at someone.
Ryan's at the bottom of the ocean going, I haven't gotten attention in a while.
Man, I need a lonely. It's just me and my thoughts. Man, I bet I could fix this.
It's about to be not me or my thoughts.
Nor my thoughts, yeah.
Just a body in the ocean. Another one.
Yeah. Another one, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Dan, I just do awkward things that nearly kill me. I've heard that you do awkward things that are different awkward things. What have you got this week?
Story time.
This week, I decided that I was going to tell you guys the story of one of my makeout sessions with a woman.
Oh,
Dan.
yes. Okay.
Say it so. What's that like? I've never...
You've never had a woman before. I believe it.
Okay. All right. I was joking.
And now he's hurt.
But yes, obviously, being a closeted gay guy at BYU, the goal is to get married, as I've said before.
Of course.
When you're 21, after you come back from your mission, you're required to start searching for your eternal mate. And so
when you're in the closet, you have to do what, the leaders do in that situation. So whatever Tom Cruise has done, you're like, yeah, I've got to do that. So get married, have kids. Nobody will ever question it.
I know you're joking, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I know you're joking, but yes. Like that.
Yeah, that's the religion I was in. So basically what ended up happening was that I was like, okay, I need to start dating. I'm going to date a lot. So when I first got home, I started serial dating. I'd go on a bunch of first dates, and I just wouldn't proceed with anything, right? So
okay,
I took a long break.
We should probably not call it serial dating. Just
let's not. Yeah,
I feel like it's also
like
probably
this
what
podcast is going to be used.
I have never thought about that, but yeah, that is really bad.
Yeah, it's probably also what Ted Bundy said to his friends.
What are you doing? I'm
Yeah,
serial dating.
I'm just serial dating, my dude. Like, she's in the trunk. You want to meet her? Nah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so after a lot of not having success at all and not being able to obviously be sexually attracted to a woman, I was like, I'll just take a long break, right? So I took a very long break from dating. And then eventually I was like, okay, I should probably start dating again. And I got on Tinder. And I was like, great,
as you do.
Swipe on a bunch of people.
So usually when people take a break from dating, they do stuff like self exploration. They find themselves. You're just kind of like, no, I'm tired. let me stop for a minute. You didn't you didn't ask questions hey, I wonder why this isn't going well.
Well, I knew why it wasn't going well. I just didn't want to acknowledge why it wasn't going well.
Okay,
that's
all right.
different.
That makes sense.
Should I have gone to therapy? Yes, but I didn't. So I basically decided to take out all of my therapy thoughts on another date, essentially.
That's what women are for, Dan. To be therapy for men.
I will say that I went through a lot of therapy on dates. Like, I was like, I don't know, do you ever feel like sometimes just like you can't find love? And they're like, yes, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I feel really
They're like, but that's why we're here. And you're just like, no, still no for me, dog. Like,
I feel like I should say this because I am a wildly dry person. That was a joke. That's not what women are for. They're for cooking.
I love that Ben is so dry that sometimes you're like, that's scary.
And this week's episode is that Ben hates women.
Well, also, I think
I
it's
told
really
you guys
crazy
already, if you start doing this to me, I will just lean into it. Like,
If Ben believed that, that would explain why he's dry, if we're honest.
It's true.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend myself. People just they'll either know or they'll know whatever they want,
Yeah. God, welcome to comedy, seriously, on any platform.
Welcome to the internet, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure.
Entire thing. Anyway, so basically what ended up happening is I swiped on this girl that looked pretty cool. Now, something you need to know about Closet Gay moment is that we
we know, we get you said she looked pretty cool. That's exactly what that told us everything we needed to know.
And yeah, every man that's listening to is like, oh, she's pretty, swipe, she's pretty, swipe, Dan's like, she looks like she could have a fun conversation. You know, like,
man,
she looks like she's also into Blink-182 or whatever.
Yeah, she was into Beyblades before it was cool. Like, I don't know what.
I mean, you guys, again, we're all joking about this, but this was my exact thought process. Like, I was like, I need a liberal woman who still loves the gospel and will love me enough to be, like, help me through my gayness, right? That was, like, the thought process.
Just so your Craigslist ad was like gay man looking for liberal woman.
Gay man looking for liberal beard. Like that's really what that means.
Okay, I do want to point out my Tinder profile definitely had Yas Queen in it for a long period of time.
Is it not supposed to?
Well, it can, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's just not usually what you'd associate with like a straight guy on a Tinder.
Right, for sure. You also just don't associate 5'5", 125 pounds with a straight guy. But like here I am.
Anyway, so I swipe on this girl. She starts responding. She's like, "Hey, like I would love to go on a date with you. I've seen your meme account. Love it." Whoa. So,
okay, should I just
Powerful
store
start.
that note in the back of my mind for now? The fact that you had a meme account, or
yes, it was called Provo Ho Life.
Oh,
that's just
my
the city that I
God.
lived in, Provo.
is it still around?
No, it got deleted last year. It got taken down because I posted pro BLM stories, and a bunch of people reported it.
Yeah, because that's not what a Provo Ho meme account is about, Dan. Come on now, you're supposed to be all about them hoes, Dan. You know, like if I walked up to you and I'd be like, "Are you the Provo Ho guy?" and you'd be like, "Yeah," I'd be like, Dan, where the hoes at?" You're supposed to know.
Well, and that was the weird part about it is like I would post memes about dating, but I definitely didn't date enough to know about like dating.
To know dating, yeah.
So
these memes are like very specifically for a closeted gay man going on dates with women, and everyone's like, "I don't get this. I don't think this will work."
So relatable, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
I guess everyone here's closeted gay. Like that's
that's what it is. So we basically were like, I messaged her and I was like, "Hey, like I don't have a car. Do you want to just do something in Provo?" And she was like, "No, I'll pick you up." So she picks me up.
Perfect start.
I open the front door and there are Monster cans everywhere in her car.
And you were like, nailed it. She's a cool one.
And I was like, she's liberal.
Or her name used to be Kyle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that guy got like one of those, like, where she dated a guy who has like a tap out shirt, and he used to sit there. Like, that's what I'm.
Dan was like, I just need to find a woman that's very much a man, and he nailed it.
She's got to be the worst version of a man. Like the worst.
Oh, the problem is she still has boobs, and Dan's like, I can't overlook that.
Standard for what I wanted.
You're gonna have to say that again because you broke up. And not even with her.
Oh, I repeated basically Ryan's point in saying that I didn't go after any regular man traits. I went after Kyle traits. So I was like, oh yeah, I want an energetic person, an artificially energetic person. So anyway, so we get in. She's like, "Sorry about all the caffeine. I drink caffeine because in a Mormon culture that might be a bad thing, or they say it is." So,
and you were like, "Oh, score." Oh, she's sinning already. Got it.
A woman who drinks caffeine. Yeah.
This is the one for sure.
She's lenient on the rules. Great. She'll understand me. So anyway, she takes me to she made it very clear that she wanted to be the one to pay for the dates, and I was like, are you sure? Double checking, because I was trying to be a good man, but I was also a feminist.
You're loving this date up to this point.
I was like, if you want to pay, baby, pay. Yeah.
So you're loving this up to this point.
Well, yeah. Well,
I mean, she gets in there. She's just like, "Yo, Monster Energy, love caffeine, down with Mormonism. I'm gonna pay." And you're like, "This is everything that I've ever actually just wanted."
A dream woman. But then she said something horrible.
Oh.
She asked me the question. She said, well, first of all, she kept calling me Jack Black the whole night. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're like Jack Black. You're so funny, Jack Black."
Why? Is it because you were funny?
I think it was just because I was fat and had brown hair. She was like, "Oh, him."
No, yeah, I see the resemblance for sure.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's so screwed up.
It's really bad. Anyway, so she's like Jack Black the whole night. But then we're playing, I remember it so vividly. We're playing a Transformers like shooting game. Something like that. It was like
Where was this date?
Arcade.
An arcade, yeah. Sorry, I meant to say that. Nickel
Okay,
Cashew.
yeah, we would have just gotten through the whole thing. Like, I don't know where that Transformers game came in. They have those at Olive Garden now? Like,
Right, it's wild. Yeah.
So we're playing this Transformers game, and we get done, and we win, and we're having a really good time. And I was like, yeah, that's great. High five each other. And then she starts wanting to get like a little deeper, and you can tell she does.
Uh-huh.
But her first question the first question that comes out of her mouth is, so, like, you're from Africa, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm from like Africa. And she was like, so
no.
have you had any like major like diseases?
Because all major diseases are from Africa and only live. Yep, that's how the science tells us here in America, Dan.
Yep.
I
Have
love
you ever
that we all
been
felt
bit by
that
a
one coming.
mosquito? Because every single one of them.
Well, and that was the thing. I had to be honest with her and be like, yes, malaria, bilharzia.
So technically her question wasn't super off. Like,
But it was just like, it wasn't appropriate, but yes, I definitely have had major disease.
I don't know. I feel like if she had something right,
That was the thing. I was
it's appropriate.
Stereotype.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah. No. So anyway, like we go, like she keeps asking kind of a little bit like ignorant questions, but I don't hold that against anyone until we get to like the fifth ignorant question. Then I'm like, okay, this is just like overall bad. Like this is just getting to where it's like on the verge of racism too, as well, right? Like not against me, but you can tell they have definite
So
like.
you went on a date because you were looking for a woman that very much acted like a man, and she was on a date with a man that she could ask racist questions to without it being racist.
Yeah. That was basically it. Yeah, I guess that's
were a match made on Tinder, let me tell you.
Perfection.
Dream. The stuff of dream. And so then she's like, we get done with the arcade, and at this point, I'm kind of like, this is definitely not someone that I'm attracted to or can even try and be attracted to. I'm just going to leave this alone. So I was like, great, we're going home. And she was like, actually, I wanted to go to the not makeout point. It's got a racist name, so I'm not going to say it. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's been petitions to take it down.
Dang it, Utah.
It's SKWA Peak. We'll just call it the Peak for now.
Got it. It took me way longer than I'd like to admit to put that together in my head.
Yeah, but only in Utah, where slavery was only legalized this past year. So anyway, she's like,
I find it really interesting that you even had a makeout point.
Yeah, I feel like for Utah, that should just be like...
Fun fact, BYU has the highest concentration of mono in the United States, I believe.
That's funny.
I'm not even saying this.
Everyone makes out continuously with everyone.
Yeah, I'm not even saying this as like it's weird because it's Utah. I'm saying it's just weird to have a makeout point. Like I thought that was just like a thing that was in movies. Ryan, was there a makeout point when you were growing up in like Missouri or Michigan or whatever?
No, we never had a makeout point. No.
Yeah, and I grew up in Florida. We don't have points. Like there's no we don't go up to a thing.
Mormons aren't allowed to have sex, so we have to romanticize it somehow, right? Like we don't have other options. Essentially, we're not allowed to take you back to the bedroom, so we're just like, we'll just take you to a parking lot on a mountain, right? So that's like the major one. That's the major thing. So she's like, we're going to go up to the Peak. And I was like, ugh, I knew what was coming. So I was like, great, this girl wants to kiss me.
Oh, no. Like even coming from a gay man, just the level of disdain that you said that with. Just like, oh, I can't believe someone wants to kiss me right now. Like, ugh.
flattered anytime any human being wants to. Like gay, straight, whatever. Like, I'm still flattered even if I don't want to kiss them back. But you were just disgusted.
You said that like you were more just like annoyed at like having to do it like at all. Like, oh, just this is the effort.
Like you were
the
punching
energy.
a card.
This was the date where I was like, I will never date a woman again. Like, I was like, it's either celibacy or men, and I will make that at some point. But it is definitely not women. Anyway, so the succubus took me to the people and was like, let us make out, let us do stuff. So she keeps trying to talk, and she's obviously like leaning over the front, leaning over towards me.
The things you do.
Like, yeah. And I stared forward, and I remember staring forward and thinking, if I just stare forward and only look over at her every now and then, she'll get the hint that I don't want to kiss. Like,
yeah, I've definitely pulled that move before.
Right? I'm like, if I tuck myself in, if I just go full fetal, she won't do anything, right?
If I just start throwing up, no way she wants to, right? Like, worst case scenario, she abandons me on the peak. But small price to pay for my personal freedoms. You know what I'm saying?
So anyway, we get about 20 minutes into the conversation. I'm like, she's not going to let me go home unless I make out with her. So I do. I was
that sounds like a crime. Carry on.
Well, it is a crime, but I was also just like, I'm just not the type of person to stand up for myself and be like, hey, take me home. I was just
I'm kind of glad that this is happening right now because, like, men rarely get put into this position. So
I think have all of us been in this position? Because I know I have. Like, yeah,
but it's like
I think more men
thing.
are put into it than you think.
But like,
it's
one of those things where if it's never happened to you, you don't understand why like women don't speak when things first happen until it happens to you, and then you're like, I'm just gonna get through this.
Yes, and then that was the thing. I came back and told my roommates the whole story, and I was like, I suddenly I understand fully where women are coming from. Yeah, like it was just a wild time. Anyway, but so we start kissing. We're making out. And out of nowhere, like her hand is kind of on my like because she's obviously leaning over like this, right?
Okay.
So she's got her hand on my like stomach, and then
that's the place for it. For
Is
sure.
she just whispering Jack Black as she pets her stomach? My Jack Black.
She's
no
just
Nacho Libre. Like
she's just rubbing your stomach and going, just quote School of Rock.
Nacho Libre. School of Rock. Yeah.
Anyway, so
can you sing me Tenacious D?
Yeah.
That was the makeup music. She's like, her hand slowly starts coming up.
I just want to point out the hand is moving up, not down, which is
not
the
down.
general direction for a man.
Because again, we're Mormons. You're not allowed to touch.
Right. The caffeine thing was just like, that was as far as she was going.
So her hand starts going up, and eventually she obviously starts like doing, I don't know, pulsating her hand on top of my breasts. And
roping. Carry on.
She's checking for a lump.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah, cancer. Anyway, so
she was like, "Well, he's had other diseases. Maybe I don't know.
We don't want this to be a scare."
This was the reason I asked the totally normal, not racist question about life in Africa, and now we're at that point. So like,
I just like the
for lumps. You know what I'm saying?
I just like the idea of her like having full like moral intentions with this and being like, I need to help this African kid heal. I'm gonna take him on a good date.
She's the dude from the Green Mile. She just starts screaming and just like dust particles are flying from her. This only makes sense if you've seen the Green Mile.
I've seen the Green Mile. It's great. Anyway, so she's like starts like essentially groping my breasts, and I was like, okay. At first I was like, okay, she'll stop after a couple seconds. She didn't. She kept going. So eventually I like pulled away slightly, and I was like, hey.
I just also want to point out, you went on a date with a man. Like, and I don't mean...
I will say she definitely had like butch energy. Like she definitely had that kind of like energy.
What part of the date tipped you off to that? Was the like I've been on board with this idea since immediately. Like,
Was it when
immediately.
she wanted to play a Transformers video game? She wanted to. She
had a pile
cans.
of monster cans in the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, she asked if she could pick you up.
Yeah.
She
She
had
sounds
a
like a
bunch of
15 or 16-year-old boy, like the whole way through.
Yeah. These
can
are
you
just
do?
such stereotypical boy first date moves. Like, I'm gonna pick you up. My car's dirty. It's empty caffeine, like energy drink cans. We're gonna go to an arcade, eat pizza, play arcade games. We're going out to make out point. I don't care how uncomfortable you look. We're gonna make out, and I'm going to grab your boob. Like, it hasn't got like every part. This was a man in a wig.
Yep.
Damn, this was your first gay
a little
date.
more had that been the case. It's a term called delayed adolescence, guys. Us Mormons, we go through.
Right.
I think it went in the other direction this time around. But it was just weird because she kept groping. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't like it, right? And she was like, okay, that's fine. We keep making out. And at this point, I'm just kind of like weirded out, especially because like
The boob thing.
the most I've like made out with someone, I'll be real with you. Before then, I had like made out maybe like 3 minutes tops. And then
Sure.
I'd stop because I wouldn't want to go far, right? For obvious reasons.
Oh,
That's a really religious, that's a real thing that people don't talk about, but if they're raised really religious, that's a real thing where you're like, I can't do this, and because I'm trying to like, that's a lot. There's a lot of. I get it, man. I
No,
get
no,
it.
I understand where you guys are coming from. I don't have guilt. Not a thing that I ever feel, but that's not true.
Okay,
I do
Ben's
feel guilt, but like
sociopath.
not about. I don't have like religious guilt. It's just like I'm also in the same boat, but it's 100. I'm pretty sure it's because I have ADHD and I just get like bored. I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, but like if we don't do something completely different right now, I'm going to just lose focus. Like we're either going farther or stopping completely. I can't keep doing this. I'm sorry.
It's an attention span thing.
I just like the
Absolutely is.
just being like, oh, this is boring. like,
I've been with girls that I like, and I've just been like, we're gonna make out, aren't we? Like, just the time that has to go into this. Can we just kiss? Like, a peck? And then we can
just wants to move on and go do
and then
something.
we can just watch like a movie.
There's
or
this
something.
Transformers game. I don't know if you're interested in that. Like,
We can just chug monsters or something. I don't know.
It's funny that you say that. Now that you say that, I have like a weird realization because I definitely have ADD, and maybe that contributed to me also like being a little like a bit like I want to get
I'll
this over.
start thinking about other things while it's happening.
Well, especially when I was like closeted gay, because kissing women just really didn't do anything for me. It was more like a dental inspection, right? It's like, can you get like, like make sure
you check it like E8 everywhere.
And she's just asking you questions while she's making out with you. So like, do you like floss? Like, how often do you floss? And you're like,
Anyway, so yeah, she eventually I was just like, hey, I don't want to keep kissing anymore, and I basically asked her to take me home. And I think this is probably the difference in the story between like a real woman's story and like my story. She was like, okay, I'll take you home, and immediately drove me down the mountain. But the entire way down, she kept like telling me, she was like, Dan, just so you know, it wasn't weird. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever you say. I just want to go home. And she was like, okay, but it wasn't weird. You know that, right? And I was like, okay.
Hey, that's like
Okay. And she was like, stop saying okay. It like
I
just,
can't
just
tell.
tell me that you know that it's not weird. And I was like, I had a weird time. She was like, no,
so like,
say
I
that
have
it
a
wasn't
few
weird.
thoughts about that because I genuinely feel like she wasn't trying to be manipulative or gaslighting you. I think she was trying.
Is to a T.
No,
You know what I mean?
No. I
Like,
get that. That's like if you look at it as a surface level, that's exactly what she was doing. But I pretty sure that she was just trying to convince herself that what she just did wasn't weird. She just grabbed a man's boob, and he was like, "Stop, that's weird." And she's like, "Oh no."
yeah, she had no ill intent,
this
but she was like,
weird?
fixing it for her.
I think, well, and this is the other thing. Like, as weird as it sounds, I think this is also bred in religious children. Is I feel like there's people feel like they need to fulfill roles. Sorry, I'm getting real deep now, but I feel like she felt like she needed.
Podcast.
I feel like she felt like she needed to explain it away because she felt like it was a necessary part. Like she must have had a boyfriend who was really into that, right? And then all of a sudden she thought that was a general thing for men.
Sure.
And felt like that was the only way to go through it.
But
and then
she
needed
was
to explain
young
it
and
away.
inexperienced, so instead of being hey, it happened here and he liked it, I didn't realize that you didn't like it. She was like, no, every guy likes it. It's not weird.
Every guy likes it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and she said that exact word. When I first pulled away, she was like, "Oh, sorry, every guy that I make out with likes this sort of stuff." And I was like, "Well, I'm not into it." And
I'm not every guy, as I'm sure you're gonna find out in a year or two.
Because I think 3 for 3 on this podcast probably. Yeah. I don't know about Ben, but I think I'll go 2 for 3 with Dan being like, yeah, I don't think I want to get groped while I'm kissing someone like that.
No, I absolutely do. For sure.
Especially 2 for 3. I'll be real with you as a big guy too. It's weird because it's right. I know that right. You got a little bit of extra padding there, so I also felt like a little that's just not. Yeah, well, it's also just body dysmorphia, right? At the end of the day,
for sure.
Yeah, it's are you just grabbing fat guys' titties because you fat guys' titties?
This was the closest she could get to grabbing a boob without being ostracized from the Mormon religion.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
I hate that you're for analyzing this, but now I'm he was a good person, maybe.
Wait, I got a question, Dan. Did you ever keep up with her? Do you know what happened?
No. I deleted Tinder that night.
You follow her on any social media?
I was about to say maybe she's still on my Tinder, but
I wonder if she knows who you are now, because of TikTok and stuff, and she's gonna hear this podcast and be like, she's gonna message you and be like, it's not weird. I do it to women now all the time, and you're like, yeah, I kind of figured that one was gonna happen for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder. That is interesting. I mean, I probably can find out. So yeah, if I find out or if she messages me, I'll let the podcast audience know.
That would be fantastic. Also, Ben, I've heard that I'm not the only one that passes out at weird places.
Listen.
It's time for your story time.
Listen.
Because we're the same person, it's just fluctuating on height. That's genuinely it.
So mine wasn't because of insomnia, but it did happen. This was in high school, my freshman year of high school. So this was 2010, 2011. I think it was track. So it was 2011. And I was running track, and I had run cross country in the beginning of the year. So the coach was the same. I went to the track team, and he was like, Ben, are you going to run the mile, the 2 mile? What's going on? And every single part of me was like, not a chance, coach. You had me in the beginning of the year running 3 miles or more a day, and you think I'm going to come out here and do that again in the second half of the year? Not a chance. Give me the shortest race that it's not a laughing thing to make me do. And so I was like, I want to do the 400, 1 lap around the track. I think I was like, I can do that, done, and then I'll just be done the day. I'll sprint once for 60 seconds and I'll be good. And he was like, Ben, I think you're making a mistake. And I was like, Coach, probably. I make a lot of things.
I'm actually pretty comfortable with them though now. So let's just get into this.
So this was the freshman sophomore meet, and I know this isn't an every high school thing does this, but in my district we had the freshman sophomore meet. Anybody running in a race or throwing had to be a freshman or a sophomore, and it was just kind of a way for coaches and teams to look at their new crop of runners and be like, okay,
sure,
you're good at this, you're bad at that, whatever. And it took place at one of our rival schools, who was they had a special program called the IB program, which means the interbaccalaureate or something like that. I think is what it is.
Yeah, that my high school, yeah.
And they were the only school in the area to have it, so kids could get a normal transfer to go to that school to do the IB program. So they could pick kids. They basically could recruit kids for sports just by saying, hey, sign up for the IB program, you can transfer. But because they had so many more kids, they were a bigger school size, so they didn't actually play us directly in a lot of sports, but we still played them because they were near us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we were at their school, and already we all hated them. They're Spruce
Yeah,
Creek.
the IB kids were always weird, dude.
Yeah.
Like, every single time.
We were from Daytona Beach, Florida, going, you guys are weird. Oh, but it was Spruce Creek High School, and I went to Seabreeze High School, and we were running their meet, so everyone already hated what was happening. We were like, no, we're gonna beat these kids, you know? And as I'm standing, like, on the infield waiting for the 400 to happen, I overhear one of their coaches talking to one of their runners, basically saying that they were gonna submit a senior into the freshman-sophomore race under the name of a sophomore that wasn't there that day.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I just got really mad. And like the adrenaline started pumping, and I was like, I am going to destroy this human being in a sport, and it's gonna be the manliest thing I've ever done up to this point in my life, besides that time I jumped on an alligator. And so I'm mad because it's Creek. I'm mad because I've heard this. And we get on the track. And in the 400, you have to stay in your lane for the whole lap. So you start, like, on the curve, but, like, you know, segment stepped. So by the end of it, everyone's run the same distance, but you start at, like, different spots. Other races, you, like, start in your lane, you can move or whatever. The 400, you have to stay in your lane the whole time, or else you're disqualified. Like, if you take 2 steps out of the lane, it's over. And that's important later. But we're lining up. The starter pistol goes. I'm going behind him. I'm just watching this guy. I'm not like worried about my pace. I'm not worried about my endurance. Nothing. I'm just like, there's red in my eyes. I'm staring this guy down. Like, if I had laser beams, there would have been a hole like lasered through his back. And I'm just like, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to catch him. And I'm probably like 3 steps behind him once we all get up to that same level. And the 2 of us are in the front by like a lot. Where he was a senior, I was mad. Like, that was where we were at. And so I'm like a few steps behind him. At one point, the final curve. So we're coming around the final turn, about to hit the last straightaway into the final. So we're like halfway around the second curve, and he looks over his shoulder. Kind of like the Usain Bolt, I'm going to look to see if anyone's even going to catch me kind of thing. And he sees me, and like there's a moment where he's just like, oh no. And in that moment, this race only took like 55 seconds, but like to us, it took like 5 minutes.
Slow-mo.
So
it was a Zack Snyder film.
So like if you watch, there's a video of this. It exists somewhere. I couldn't find it. But it's somewhere out there. Hopefully I can find it. There's like a moment in the video where you see him turn and look at me, and it probably takes a second and a half. But in my head, that was like 30 seconds of the most dramatic TV show I had ever seen. Like, he turns, he sees me, and there's just like this, oh no, on his face.
Yep.
And I'm like, I got him. And I just took off at full speed, like whatever was left in my body, full sprint. And I go zooming like flying past this guy. You can hear like the whole crowd just like stand up and start cheering, like in the video that exists, I swear. The problem is, I had only ever sprinted 100-yard dash before.
No.
Never in my life have I done. I was probably like 150 yards away from the finish.
Oh no!
And my body was like, "Yo, my cap's 100." I'm just letting you know right now. Like, I can sprint good for like 100 yards,
and that is it. Game over. Like you're gonna run out of mana. Like it's just like.
Yo, I had run cross country in the beginning of the year. I had done soccer pretty much my whole life, so I've always just had this like extra tank in me that like if I need to sprint faster than anybody, I can do it right now. I just have to tap into that tank. So
it's the ADHD.
It may be it's the H from the ADHD just manifesting itself. It's just like I have to control my hyperactivity to be released at moments. And
Oh
so we're coming around. I am in the straightaway at this point. I'm getting around like 50 yards left of this race. And at this point, like, I'm so far ahead that that if I had just walked it in, I would have won at that point.
Whoa.
If I had just if I had stopped sprinting and I'd gone for like a slow jog, I would have just crossed the finish line in first place, and it would have been
I love
fine.
that if I had, which means you did not.
You see, what happened was my father was in the crowd also, and I don't know how, but he was the only voice I heard.
Wow.
And he wasn't like near the track, by the way. He was in the stands at the top corner of the stands. Like, he was the farthest person from the track that could see the track. And he is the only voice that I heard yelling, and I quote, "Run faster, Brainard, they're catching you."
What?
Oh
Yup.
my gosh.
And if I had the video, you could see they most definitely were not catching me.
No.
But I was not about to turn around to make sure. I heard my dad yell, "Run faster," and my brain was like, "You got it, champ, like, let's do this." And my legs were like, "We don't got it. We do not have this right now." And then there were like a few steps. I tried to kick it into an over gear, and then there were like a few steps where all it was my body just keeping myself from hitting the ground. Like, I wasn't running fast. There was no technique. It was just my legs going, "We're not gonna fall yet." Like, I was catching myself. That's all my legs were doing.
Just slowly descending at this point.
I looked like I was running like a Naruto character because my body was like parallel to the ground, and the only thing that was saving was my legs going, "We're not gonna fall yet, we're gonna," and then my arms were like doing this weird like T-Rex flail, like I was doing the breaststroke, but there was no pool. And then all at once, everything shut down. I blacked out. My brain was like, "We've reached the limit, Chief. It's time to go to sleep now." And I blacked out while up, running at full speed. So
Your brain was like, "We focused too much."
I fell forward, and I hit the ground on my shoulder, and I slid like several yards on my shoulder. And then I wake up backward. All I remember is I'm facing the wrong way. And I get up, and I turn around, and I take one step. And at that moment, the person in second place passed me.
No.
I stumbled, fell, slid, got back up, turned around, and took a step before second place passed me.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And at this
That's
point...
insane.
Yeah. At this point, I tried to keep going towards the finish line, but my whole body was like, "I don't know which way is up." Because
which way is down? And you're going down.
I mean, looking back on it now, I had a concussion.
Yeah.
I hit the ground and my head was like, boink. And
you guys don't use grass tracks here.
it was a rubber track.
African stuff, sorry. You guys are on grass, yeah.
So I go to take another step and my body's like, "I don't know which way is the right way, my dude." I went from lane 5 all the way to lane 1, all the way back to lane 8, fell again. And at this point, someone's like on the fence.
I'm just picturing you just being like,
"That's exactly what it was, dude."
You just Gumby stumbled all the way around. Like,
Exactly. And then someone's like on the fence looking down at me, and all I'm seeing is silhouettes. There's no clear pictures anywhere. The silhouette of someone looking down at me and going, "Just stay down." And I remember just like giving like a thumbs up, like, "Yeah, man, that was my plan. I can't really feel my legs, so we're gonna stay down." And then the race finishes like a few seconds later, and a couple of my teammates run onto the track and pick me up to carry me off the track. And I just remember like mumbling, "Finish line, take me, finish line," and they didn't. They were like, "No, we're not gonna. You are not okay."
No, this isn't a like Cool Runnings ending.
Yeah. We are the Jamaican bobsled team, my guy.
Yeah,
This
right
isn't about
now.
pride or respect. This is about health,
They
and
carry
it's
you
not
like
going
over.
well for you.
Yeah, it's about survival, man, and you're not getting close.
So they take me to the infield, and my dad runs out on the track at this point. He's on the track. It's my dad and my coach, and I'm starting to get like vision back. So like I know who they are. My dad hands me like a full blue Powerade and is like, "Drink this." And like I don't know if you've ever like fully exerted yourself before and then drank a lot of liquid. Like
Well,
don't
gonna throw up.
like it's not.
No, yeah, it's
smart.
always gonna.
But I was like,
bad.
my brain was like still not working good. So I was like, whatever you say, dude, like you got it.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
I don't have any
Sorry,
reason
I
to
got
not
crushed.
trust the guy that just lied to me in the middle of a track meet. So, so I was like, yeah, whatever. I drank the whole Powerade, threw up 3 times.
Oh,
And Powerade vomit is different.
Yeah,
it is.
It
Dude,
hits
Gatorade Powerade. Mm-mm.
What kind of Powerade?
blue.
Oh,
And then,
no.
And then my coach looks at me and goes, "Ben, that is the best 350-yard dash I have ever seen."
Oh my god.
And that is the
Oh my
last
God.
400 I ever ran.
Oh
I
my
looked at
god.
the times. I looked at the time splits, dude. The dude who came in second, which was the senior, he ran it in like 58 seconds.
Okay.
And I was well ahead of him. I probably ran it in like 55. Which,
Wow.
it's like up there,
For a
dude.
short, for
Like,
a
that's
that
like-
short, like.
Yeah, that's like districts at least, if not states level. I would have been able to get into something if I had stayed up. And then I was like, maybe the 400's not for me. Let me run the 800. And so I ran the 800 for the rest of the year.
I need more of what I just didn't do good. Like that's. Just,
But
oh my god.
there's pictures
Yeah, we're
that I
talking about
have. I-
Ryan making bad decisions, and you're
Yeah,
like,
Ryan,
I'm gonna
like,
run
come on, yeah.
longer races
Me and
now.
Ryan are the same person. I think the only difference is I'm a little more athletic. Like, that's it.
Hey, well, a little depending.
Ryan, whenever I come out to California, we'll just do like a gauntlet of sports. And then,
Actually, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah.
So I found
You're
pictures
going to
on my
annihilate
Facebook.
me.
Probably.
in soccer.
I'm just picturing
Like,
you guys doing like unnecessary ones, like javelin.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
actually
No,
banking on.
I know how
Yeah.
to do that. I know how to throw discus. I know how to throw shot put. I know how to
I'm gonna
pole
throw
vault.
football. I'm gonna do some baseball stuff.
Sure.
I'm gonna we're gonna have some fun. I'm
gonna do
excited.
So I found pictures. So this is a Facebook status from 2011, from right before I ran the 400 for the first time. About to run the 400. ... Wish me luck. And then here's a status from the same day, a little bit later.
Oh yes.
400 did not go so well. ... Frowny face.
Oh.
And then I posted a picture of me after the meet, and it's just me looking super upset, and it's just road rash all on my shoulder from where I hit. So I'll post these on the Instagram page after this
Yay.
airs for sure. But yeah, that's
That's crazy, man. I will say that I like the closest we ever came to that. Like one of my friends' hamstring snapped in the middle of a race,
oh
and the whole race
gross.
heard it. So he was running, and he was running 100. I can't remember if it was 100 or 200.
no! Don't think it
But
matters.
he was just sprinting, and then yeah, the whole sound like went through the audience, the crowd.
That is what it
was the
sounds like
worst.
too.
It was just bad.
It's like a real thick rubber band snapping.
Yep.
Yep, I believe it. I believe it. I believe in a thing called love.
So that brings us to the end of story time. So let's run through the rest. The rest of this podcast is always so quick.
Podcast.
Silly
Silly
question
question.
time. Pineapple on pizza.
Nah, doesn't hit for me. It's a texture thing. I don't like it. Also, it's
It's
a
a
moisture
texture thing for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a texture.
Okay,
There's
I've
a lot.
heard that
Nah,
before. I've heard that before.
I don't like it.
There's this thing we have in Africa called taste. And, you know, when you combine two flavor profiles, you actually get a better profile, in my opinion. And so I'm of the opinion that pineapple on pizza makes it better, in fact.
Because it does.
It does.
Whoa, I'm outnumbered on this?
Absolutely.
Salty, sweet, and ham or bacon?
Like,
what are you going to get?
When I worked on a food truck selling pizza in Orlando, we wouldn't do pineapple on pizza. We would do apples and bacon.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that too. Yep.
I can understand that.
Well, pears.
I've never done pears.
I just don't like fruit on my pizza.
Oh,
like,
no, we did do
board.
pears. We had the uncomparable, is what we called it.
Oh. I see what you did. Yeah, that's when you decided to become a comedian. Yeah.
I was already doing comedy at the time, actually. I did not name the pizzas. But yeah,
I wish you had.
It just feels like right now, you're the wrong one.
It does. I feel that too, and it feels bad. Like, I don't.
Don't worry.
It was
there's
like
gonna
an accident.
There's going to be about 112 different people that comment on this podcast that tell you that you're right, and they're wrong too.
And you know what? I think they're right. I think we need a poll. Here's the thing. I love like barbecue chicken pizza. Like I like mixing flavors like that. Like that's good. But I just don't mess with fruits on like my pizza.
Like on
really
bread.
Is interesting. Yeah, on bread. It's fruits on bread.
I can't understand like the general like bready thing, but I think that I don't know. I feel like pizza can be the exception because most of the time when fruit is done on pizza, it's usually pretty thin. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my.
I can see that. I think that's fair. Yeah, that's not my thing. It sounds like it's that time for news in a flash.
News in a flash.
Girl from Lawrence. First off, do you love Ben? Second off, could you make that sound better?
Her name is Gracie Lawrence, and she could. She absolutely could.
Yeah, she could make that sound better. Or she could love you, either way.
I'll go with both. So I'll start here. The city of Miami has imposed a state of emergency for spring break crowds.
Wow.
In case they're with their parents.
For the second year in a row.
It's in case they came down to Miami, Florida with their mom and dad and little brother for scuba diving lessons, I guess. There's one kid in the bottom of a pool sleeping, and the city of Miami is like, this is a state of emergency. I appreciate the mayor of Miami for never caring about the rest of the state. Like, if you ever spend time in Florida, Miami is not Florida. Miami is Miami.
No.
And, like, anytime the governor says anything, the mayor of Miami is like, we're not going to do that. No matter what it is. Like, especially in the past year, but, like, anytime DeSantis is like, do this, the mayor of Miami is like, no. I'm not.
I hear you, but no.
Yeah,
which is very Floridian of him. I feel.
Very. So, like, the rest of the state also has spring breakers. Like, they've had a whole bunch of stuff in Daytona, Panama City Beach, but Miami is the only one that's like, this is an emergency.
Yeah, a state of emergency.
And the rest of Florida is like, how is that any different from regular Miami?
You're like...
And then
Miami didn't change.
Miami
is constantly spring break.
Yeah,
it really is for most of the year.
Most of the time, it's like it's actual people from Miami. Like spring break, it's all I want to say foreigners, like they're not still from this country, but like Miami makes it feel like it. I'm telling you, dude. Like it's just not non-locals, and the whole town is just covered in like tourists. So of course it's gonna be, and they're all running around going, "Why are all these iguanas here? Oh my goodness! Like, why did this iguana just fall from a tree? Is it supposed to be here?" And Miamians are like, sound the alarm! Like, we just can't.
I just want a state of emergency so they leave. Like that seems really it. Like, get out of here! Like, that's an emergency.
They set a curfew for 10 p.m. Or they set an 8 p.m. curfew. They set an 8 p.m. curfew, and at 10 p.m. they shut down all eastbound traffic into South Beach.
Wow. That's insane.
Which means at 10 p.m. all the locals came out. So they were just like, oh, we're good now? They're not here? Let's go!
Back to it!
Throw gasolina back on!
Oh my gosh, that's glorious. A Sonoma winery will pay $10,000 a month to work and live rent-free.
Absolutely.
Guys, Guys, you just want to do it, and like that's where we film the podcast now. Is like just hit the Sonoma Winery, like hey,
We're just in a vineyard and we're like,
podcast.
what do you guys think about this?
I just find it really funny that like California so many people are leaving California that they have to pay people to stay. They're like,
it
please
really makes sense though.
come. We are losing people. Like, we will give you $10,000 a month just to be here, man. Like, please. I want friends.
Also, like, I feel like the winery people don't really know what like a wage is. They're just like, I don't know. We'll pay you like $10,000. Like, just throwing that number out there.
That's a number people get paid, right? 10,000? Is that how much a pineapple is worth? I have no idea. I've never shopped before.
Hold up. So I'm searching for this right now. The pay includes 30 cases of wine. 30 cases.
Baby, we're about to have a good time.
New hire should be ready.
It's about to be lit. They're going to have a state of emergency with me.
I didn't look into it, so I didn't look up to see what kind of jobs they're going to ask you to do for $10,000, but I'm not worried about it. Like, yeah, $10,000 a month, whatever you want. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. A winery doesn't seem like too complicated. I mean, there's definitely like, you just need someone to know like time frame stuff. But other than that.
Okay, so a video entry by June 30th detailing why they would be a good fit for the job. Still haven't told me about the job. Unique benefits.
What the job is.
You must love wine. Okay, everyone's supposed to love their job. Like that's, I don't know.
Okay.
Like
Sure.
Okay, the first 90 days of the job will be spent shadowing winemaker Dave Reddy Jr. Okay, and exploring all aspects of harvest. From there, we will work with your passions. What?
It'll explain what?
And exploring all aspects of harvest.
Harvest. I thought you said hardness.
Hardness. Oh god.
Like, all aspects.
All aspects. Man, this Dave guy is like this is a lot. Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to.
Dave is from, but I want him to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's wild.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, do you want to hear some of their requirements? This absolutely makes me want to bash my head against a wall.
Oh no.
You didn't choose wine. Wine chose you.
No.
I couldn't do that. Willing to have your employer pay your rent.
Like, I'm
answers
going
yes.
for it.
This is a go to answers yes, please when someone asks you red or white.
No.
Willingness
this
to
was written by a gay person. I can say that. I know that categorically now. This is a gay guy.
Oh my gosh.
Must answer yes or no.
That's so dumb.
Red or white? Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Hey, that doesn't. I'm holding 2 bottles. That doesn't answer the question.
That makes me feel like the work environment is not great. They're like red or white continuously, and you're like, yes, please. Yeah.
God, that sounds awful now. I don't want to do it. Then $10,000 is not enough for my dignity.
Just to deal with those.
I don't know if I've got that
exact
much
description. Hello. Oh my gosh. Joe Biden fell down some stairs.
And it became immediately a meme. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of drunkenness.
I kind of wish it was that, but I don't think Joe's that cool to be drunk on the job.
No.
The last time a Democratic president was drunk on the job, it was Bill Clinton, and we all know what happened after that.
Yeah, that didn't go cool. Also, I just think it's funny that it's like this was also the week that like North Korea finally talked to us for the first time in like 3 months, and they're like, "You suck," and then Joe Biden falls downstairs. It's
one of those moments where you're trying to get the last word in, and you're walking like while looking backwards, and you run into a pole. You're like, no, you suck.
And also, it wasn't like a little fall. It was like 3 falls.
Yeah. I was gonna say he definitely had his eyes looking at the spots where he was supposed to walk. I think it was he just didn't have the physical strength.
Guys, we've all been 78 before. Like we know.
That's what I do want to say. I feel like people are like, our president is old. Ugh. Like it happens, right? What do you expect from a grandpa? Right?
It's true, but it does make you like, because people made fun of like Reagan a lot for being so old. Like, is he going to hit the nuclear button? And after watching Joe just try to go upstairs, I'm like, I hope that like it's locked. You know, like I hope there's something over it.
I mean, people also made a lot of fun of Trump when he like stumbled down the ramp. But, like, the thing, like, I don't care. If you're 70 some odd years old and you stumble sometimes, yeah, man, you're 70 some odd years old. The weird part for me is when they start talking about it afterward. Like it's like they're upset. Like, yeah, you stumbled. Human beings do that. But like if Joe just got on Twitter and he was like, the stairs were a little bit slick and I don't know, like the lighting was like Trump held an entire rally talking about the physics of ramp making to prove that he wasn't at fault when slipping down the ramp. And I was like, bro, nobody cares. Just don't talk about it.
I've fallen downstairs in high school. You know what I mean? Like this is
not
not
asleep in a pool. You have no room to talk.
I have no. That's the thing.
You apparently have to. You both have fallen a lot. We sympathize with this.
We do. Yeah. Don't mess with stairs.
Jensen Karp, husband of the actress that played Topanga, says he found shrimp tails in a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I just want to say categorically, he definitely found shrimp tails. Those were for sure shrimp tails.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then they tried to be like, no, that's cinnamon and sugar combined to create a crazy snack. No.
I just love the duality of Twitter. Because sometimes you log on to Twitter and all that's there is just like, here's how you dismantle a patriarchy. We're going to start the revolution at 10 p.m. Like, I remember logging into Twitter one time and like the top trending thread was like this woman who was like, I study ancient Egyptian architecture. If you really wanted to tear down an obelisk, this is how you do it. And like a full detailed account of how to actually tear down an obelisk. And then like, it honestly, like, it feels like it could have just been like a week later. The only thing everyone's talking about is just like, there's shrimp tails in Cinnamon Toast Crunch? What is happening?
Well, okay, but did you guys also see that they found like what looks like an edamame bean? So something tells me someone ordered like a crazy, I don't know, got one of those little like edamame balls from Costco and accidentally spilled it into the mixture and was like, oops.
My theory would be like I'm just curious what this factory that makes Cinnamon Toast Crunch and also shrimp is doing. Like I just and it was
I'd be upset if I found shrimp tails in my Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but not for the fact that I found cinnamon tails, because shrimp tails in my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'd be upset that the rest of the shrimp wasn't with it.
Yeah.
You've sent me the only unedible part of the shrimp, and I feel like that's the rude part here.
I feel slighted.
Yeah,
you know, like,
absolutely.
I saw a tweet that was like, it might have been a rat was storing some of its stuff in a bag of flour, and then someone dumped it in without actually checking it. And I was like, that brings me way less comfort than it already had. Like, I was like,
you're right.
Shrimp tails alone was already concerning. Now you're telling me that there's rats in Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I don't want to touch it anymore.
There's a hoarder rat working at the Cinnamon Toast Crunch factory, and he was just drunk on the job one day and was like, I forgot where my stash was, so let me throw these tails here for now.
Yeah, what rat is like, I just like a good shrimp tail.
Man, Ratatouille has fallen, man.
The flavor profile. It's crazy. Pineapple on pizza.
Hey.
David Dobrik, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole situation with David Dobrik?
I've only seen that he's been dropped. I've only seen that he's been dropped by a lot of things, and like I don't know the full story. So I'm just like, for like I haven't read a ton about it. I just know that there's like some allegations going around, and like that's honestly like for those type of houses and things like that, like those vlog houses, like that doesn't shock me, and it's just sad.
Absolutely.
And it just
I think I'm probably like the worst internet famous person ever. I don't know any of these people. I don't know what this is. Like people like
I've never seen a David Dobrik video like in my entire life. Never seen them.
But like this happens all the time where I'll meet somebody and they're like, oh, do you watch this? And I'll be like, I have no idea who this is. And they're like, how do you not know? Aren't you also on the internet?
Yeah.
Like
that's always the thing about like TikTok too. People are like, oh, you're a little bit popular on TikTok. Don't you know the D'Amelios? And you're like, no, I like
never seen one of their videos on my For You page.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so weird to like have people just like lump you all together and be like, what's your opinion on this? Do you have an opinion? I will say, I think it's just bad. Does it shock me? No, I agree with Brian on that.
I think that's where all that is like.
Especially living in LA. I mean, LA is just like, it's a cesspool of those type of people. Like, if like the people who have done those things, it's just like, man.
A group of people that are doing this for fame.
Trying to do weird, stupid things the whole time for content.
A group of mostly young people that were given a lot of money in search of fame. Yeah, I am not surprised that they did some pretty messed up stuff.
Horrible stuff.
Yeah, if you give them some money,
it should probably be investigated. Like that needs to be taken care of. Like, obviously, yeah. We need to find out if crime was committed and then like punishment. I don't know. There's a book about it. It's called those two words. No.
So today, March 24th, we are recording this, is Equal Pay Day.
That is.
And then tomorrow it goes right back down to what they were being paid, I guess. You'd think at this point they would just establish equal pay, but no, they're like, one day, is that what you want? And then women are like, we want equal pay, and then America's like, for a day, right?
Yes,
we can give you a day.
Slay with one day.
Yeah, and then of course it's gonna be knocked down. The women are gonna be like, can we get like a month? And then America's like, ooh, a week?
What's that? Is that this month?
This is Women's History Month or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for
crazy.
White Man
it's crazy.
History Month.
So go read about Madame Curie. Like I guess like that's always everyone who brings up. They're like irradiation. It's like, yeah, I mean there were more, but okay.
I agree on that.
I like this one. This is for me. So I read BBC, so I get like wild world news, and so this is Suez Canal is blocked by a huge container ship. And my favorite part about it is, guys, if you look at it, it just looks like they were trying to drift it, and like it just got stuck. It's so funny. It's huge. It's like, what do you do now? Like,
they were filming the new Fast and Furious movie.
Probably.
That's seriously what it looks like.
We're gonna have to drift it.
Suez Canal.
The picture you can see
But
is like
Vin
clearly
Diesel,
on another boat.
It's a container ship. Trust me. Are you my
Trust me.
brother or are you my brother?
Actually, that's the best part. It's a container ship, so it's huge, which means that this had to take forever for this thing to be drifting. Like, it had to be like probably an hour and a half of, oh no.
I imagine that's how people on the Titanic were looking at the iceberg. For 3 hours just going, hey, are we going to avoid that?
Is this, yeah.
That's pretty weird, right?
Closer now.
The amount of time
that
it must
doesn't look
be,
good.
as well as the fact that they had enough time to see the Suez Canal. And not be like, maybe we should try and fit in the little hole in the gap there. I don't know. So
yeah, wait, guys, do you think we should go sideways, or do you think we should like we should just try to thread it? Do we thread it?
It was a man piloting the boat, and he was like, check this thing I just saw on FIFA.
I love FIFA. Just for soccer was like, yeah.
Name a boat video game, Ryan.
I can drive boats in Grand Theft Auto.
Fair enough.
I can drive. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That was it. Yeah.
Valhalla.
Okay. Jay Leno apologizes for jokes he told over the course of his career that targeted Asian Americans. And
no one
then
else.
if you tune in later, he's going to apologize for all of the rest of them, too.
That always makes me laugh when people are like, I apologize specifically for these because it sounds bad now. It's like, you told you could just apologize across the board, but you were like, this is not I feel bad. This is a remember who I am kind of thing.
I haven't heard of Jay Leno in a while.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. Like, no information about him, and then he feels the need to come and specifically apologize for just this. And it's like, I have seen your Britney Spears jokes. That's also going on right now. Are you going to say sorry for that?
I just like how they had to add in, like, the end of, like, he looked at this and just, like, he was like, yeah, especially Asian American. Like, the headline could have just read, Jay Leno apologizes for jokes he told over the course of his career, and we all been like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, he thought his voice was a delivery method, and that's not true. Like, I mean, that's just... This always just screams to me of that Anthony Jeselnik joke of, like, when things are going bad, and you just have to post something to be like, remember me? Yep. I'm a good person. Dude, it's so that, and it bothers me. I'm always like, okay.
Yep.
Just right there. Yeah.
Speaking of men failing,
I love this.
A man was filmed being rejected after proposing while wearing an outfit reminiscent of Ben 10.
Oh,
opinions.
I
It
watched
looks-
the video and it was I was like I have to be sad for him. I have to, but I couldn't. It was so funny. I just like, and you guys couldn't hear the audio when I was showing you. Oh, everyone
No.
was just like, "Yo, how's she gonna say no, dog?" Like it was just a bunch of
Very
strangers
easily.
in a mall, and that was all they kept saying was like, "Yo, they gonna leave him hanging like that, dog."
Dude, I gotta be honest. I think that's one of my scariest like things is getting like no on a proposal. I gotta be honest. I want to hear me out on this. This is so dumb, but I definitely want to open up this business. I want to open up a business that's called proposals, where you just like you get to hire people to do professional proposals that like work. You know what I mean? Because we've all seen terrible proposals.
You
It
know-
would be so much cooler.
You know what works? Finding someone that loves you.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, that's most of
also,
it. It's just
he
like,
proposed-
hey, she doesn't love you, man. Like that's.
It looks like he proposed in a food court.
Absolutely, he did.
Yeah, he
I
did.
don't know what the combination of Ben 10 and a food court does for anyone, but it certainly isn't like, I feel attracted to this person.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh, let me see some of that. Like,
it would've been-
I want to be proposed to by the Chipotle.
like,
Yeah, she says no, and he just flips the watch to like a different alien. It's like, time to go.
Ah!
And he-
Diamond Head!
yeah, he turns into the diamond one. She's like, on second thought.
well,
Is
that
this
would
the
work
ring?
for me.
This is the ring?
If
No.
the ring was that big the first time.
Dude, you can tell that girl had been like planning to like end that relationship for a while, and then he did this, and she was like, "Whoa, no,
No.
I actually came here to break up with you.
yeah." Dan, you've got do you have an LGBTQ for the straights?
I do. I actually had one prepared and I've totally forgotten it, so I'm just going to ask my alternative one. I'm sorry. Lady Gaga entered the charts from Chromatica, using her album Chromatica. I want to know, Ben and Ryan, can you name 3 songs off of Chromatica that aren't Rain on Me?
I couldn't
I
even
couldn't
have
even
named Rain on
Couldn't have
Me.
even done that. Yeah, not even a little.
You started speaking that sentence, and I was like, I don't know anything
know
that he's talking
anything.
about right now. I know Lady Gaga. I saw someone doing impersonation of her, or impression of her today, and I was like, okay, yeah, she still exists. And then you said
doing
top of the
good stuff.
charts, and I was like, I haven't looked at a chart.
Well,
in
it just
ages.
re-entered the charts. It didn't top the charts.
Re-entered the charts, and then you said
re-
Chromatica, and I was like, "There's an episode of SpongeBob
thought-
about that." I think.
I thought you were talking about Chromeo, those guys, that like soul funk EDM group.
So,
What is that? It was like Good Feet or something.
are we
What was
supposed to
this?
say like This is a congrat. We're congratulating.
We're
I just wanted to know.
Congratulations.
I just wanted to know how Lady Gaga aware the
Not at
straights
all.
were. And you
Zero.
guys made
I
it.
couldn't even tell you.
No.
Like,
Ask me her real name. I don't know it.
it's something Italian.
You
I
could
know
have
that.
you could have opened it up to like all of her albums and just been like name 3, and I'd be like, okay.
I can only name you 2, and it's only because they're the same. Like they fall under the 4 chord song because her music is just the same 4 chords. Yep, it's just there. It is.
It's Poker Face and the other one.
Poker Face, Paparazzi.
Yep. Okay, Paparazzi. And
Okay.
is one of her Rain on Me. Got it.
Rain on Me. You nailed it. I never heard it.
Okay. There you
Yeah.
go. As a gay man, I'm offended.
This is so not pro LGBTQ of us, right?
Right. What?
All right, we're going to jump into these audience submitted questions. We got an email from the podcast for the first time this week from Regan,
Yeah.
and it says, our son was born 6 weeks ago. Congratulations. So my husband and I were wondering what y'all would name your sons if/when you have one. Dan, if you were to adopt a boy and he was like, you can name me whatever you want, Papa, like what would you...
There's other ways, but all right.
I like that way better.
I do too.
I'll name him Lady Gaga or Chromatica. No.
I love the image of this kid being like 8. Like they've had a name.
We only give it a name at 8 years old.
Absolutely.
I've actually given a lot of thought to this. I've always liked like locational names, which sounds stupid, but I really like the name Harlem. And I know that's really bad, so I will never do that. But I used to always
Probably a
think
good
about
call.
going to name my kid something along those lines. I don't know, a location.
Like a
that is-
significant
or
location.
A little more, yeah,
York
I don't know.
City.
But I mean, as I
Boardwalk.
it hasn't crossed my mind, honestly.
Like if you had to name your son
name it like that
after
would be
like
okay.
your hometown.
Harari.
That's actually
That's
kind of a
not
dope
bad.
name. That's
Ferrari.
yeah, right. Like that was
That's way better than
Okay, yeah, I mean-
Daytona.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I think that kind of goes with the
Sanctimonious.
Harlem thing, where it's like, oh, I don't know. It's interesting.
But you're
yeah.
from there. Like, it's different.
Yeah, I was going to say you're from
That's true.
Harare.
That's true.
Like, yeah.
Dan, you're African.
What?
I think if I were to have a son, I would just agree with my wife. And but like I like to have fun with this. I don't want to name him like super weird, but it's not like a normal. I wouldn't like I'd go with like Benaiah, which is still
Gotcha.
biblical, but like sounds
Yeah.
way cooler
Really?
than Benjamin.
Nah, no, I get that. Honestly, I'd go with. I thought about this, and honestly, it'll probably have to be a middle name because it's not a great first name. But I really like the name Gideon. Because I like
a
I like it.
wonderful first name if you make it a first name.
Well, that's what I thought, but I've gotten nonstop shade for that because, and also Gideon's like my favorite story in the Bible because it's just cool and it's just tactical,
Sure,
and
yeah.
I studied strategy a lot, so it was like, yeah.
I love it.
You guys
We're just
familiar
gonna
with that
let
story?
that
at all?
one dangle, man.
Okay, no,
I
yeah, there we
made a
go.
lot of fun of you on like all three of the first episodes.
So you're just gonna let me have that one?
I'm just gonna let
like,
you, yeah.
Gideon.
I hope my fans roast you for it. I absolutely
They will. They will.
And we hope the same for you, Ben. We
That's
hope
fine.
all
No,
of the
I
fans.
expect it.
My fans won't roast him. They'll just try to be nicer to him, so Ben will be nicer to me. Like that's what my community would do.
Okay, but that's really.
Oh
my gosh. What's
Is that
your
what you call your
second favorite?
fans?
I mean, half the time,
Youth
yeah.
group?
Yeah, they're the youth group.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I like that. I like it.
I call
Because
mine
like, it's the youth group that's
I'm
not
gonna let
based
you
on
have
any
that one
religion
too.
or
I'm gonna
anything
let
like
you
that.
have that one too, Ryan.
Okay, thank you.
I call mine the brain cells.
Hold on, his sounds like incels and mine's worse. Shut
My
up.
last name is Brain, and you have brain cells, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Apparently you don't.
I took out oxygen underwater. Okay, but I don't have those things.
Ryan has 2 brain cells.
And they do not rub together. They are on opposite sides right now, getting ready to run towards each other. What's your second favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Ooh, that's a good one. Cookies and cream, probably for me.
I'd say like something with nuts.
We're just gonna move right along on that one. Do you support the LGBT-Q? Clearly, after that last statement.
They don't like Lady Gaga, but they do. They're allies, guys. They're allies.
And then we get it every time. It always still
single
makes me
time.
laugh. I think I said this last time. Like, people either say, Ryan, are you gay or do you hate the gays? And I was
Yep.
like, oh, I don't know. What? How is that? How
do
can
you
that?
be
How
cool
can I
with
get
the gays?
Yeah, right. Well,
There's a
yeah,
gay
like,
guy on their podcast. At some point, it has to
Dan,
give.
you're gay?
It's like
I offered to perform a gay wedding. That's what. Okay, guys, get this. I'm on a live recently, and someone asked me like, do you hate gay people? And I was like, I offered to perform a gay wedding, and they were like, oh, so you're friends with gay people, but do you hate them? And I was like, I don't even know what to. I offered to do their vows. I'm literally in my actions was going to consummate. Not consummate. That's wrong. I wasn't going to do that. No, that's the full thing.
I'm
All right,
ready to
no.
question it.
Ryan's like, I mean,
He's
I
like, why do people
approve
think I'm gay?
commune.
I just want to consummate weddings.
I mean, like, I support
Yeah, I'm
the
Irish.
wedding. I just don't approve of it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It just seems dumb at this point.
Yeah, silly. Silly. But yes, they are allies, guys. How old are you?
25, I think. Yes. Yep. Time isn't real.
I want to say
So I never answer this question. So I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one because throughout my entire TikTok career, I've never answered this question.
I don't answer a
Really?
lot of personal questions either. But
Well, I'll tell you the reason why is because a lot of people, like, I feel like, especially when I was growing up, like, I always felt like I saw other people as ages, and I felt like I had to be there by that time, and it gave me
Okay.
some frustrating, like some anxiety about that. And I was just like, I don't want
Absolutely.
anyone else to feel that way. So
yeah, I
don't
tell
do it.
people I'm an idiot on the internet all the time. So like, don't look up to me. But yeah, I'm 25. The only reason I know this is because my car insurance dropped. It drops at 25, and I was like, yes. But I have a very real problem of not like I don't do time too good. Like I don't. There's the
Apparently not
passing of
English
time.
either.
The passing of time just kind of just like is. You know, like I don't.
Yeah, man, that's time.
I don't celebrate. I mean, like I don't celebrate holidays.
You can just say you're Jehovah's Witness. It's okay.
But like I don't have a good concept of the passing of time either. Like I don't know when it's been an hour. I don't know when it's been like a week. Like I don't know how long ago things happened. So I forget my birthday most years.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Since my car insurance dropped at 25, this is probably going to be the last year that I even care to answer the question.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm probably like from here on out, it's probably like, yeah, I can drink.
I got
it's somewhere
That's the main
above
reason
there.
you need to let people know that what your age is.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm allowed to drink, guys. And I'm 27, so.
Are you single?
Yep.
No.
Well, I'm not plural. Moving on.
Wait.
What does that mean?
That's one of those questions that I never ask. And I
Yeah,
never
I thought you were
will.
gonna skip over it.
Regardless, I'm never going to put it out there. So every time someone asks me if I'm single, I just say, well, I'm not plural.
I never talk about it. I always say that like when I'm dating someone, I always say that I'm dating someone, but I never talk about it because like that's a very personal part of my life. And I never want people like, I wouldn't want someone to then get used to like me in a relationship and then we break up and then I've got for like a year afterwards just, are you still dating them? Ha, I'm not.
Yeah.
This is fun again.
Wild.
Yeah. The hardest part about doing comedy,
The comedy.
I'd say going up in the ranks, to be honest. Like going from that like open mic to like becoming a feature to becoming like dealing with because there's the thing, a lot of comics don't want to see you succeed. You know what I mean? It's not like improv.
Yeah.
And so I think it's getting the opportunity.
Like I am currently trying to figure out how to destroy Ben and Ryan right now. And it's
and he's looking at me like such a soft target, and he's right. It wouldn't take much.
I'd agree. I'd agree in saying
I've had the most training in combat and murder, so I would be the hardest to kill on the podcast. I feel like that should be a thing we talk about at one point. Like, who do you think?
Yeah.
Let's put it out to the fans. Like, who do you think would win in a fight? Like, if we had like a one-on-one, a round robin tournament, who do you think would win that? I say it's me. Absolutely. I'm undersized, but
the fans need to remember though that I was raised in a third world country with a dictator though, so I just have like survival built into me.
Sure, yeah, I've been in
like
the army
8 years. Yeah,
and the American army. So yeah, maybe. Yeah. You knew the difference. I'm like McDonald's.
If it's a gas attack, Ben survives.
I'm literally not affected by tear gas anymore, and you're like, no, I could win this fight.
I'm saying who's bringing tear gas to the fight? Well, I guess
are we not supposed to? So to me, I think the hardest part of doing comedy, is being funny. The comedy part.
That's the honest.
Comedy is not easy.
No, God no.
And the only reason.
But once you learn how to do it, though, I feel like it
gets
eventually.
easier.
But it's getting into it. Yeah, it gets easier to be like more natural on stage. But actually figuring out the funny is so hard.
But like, if you're listening to us on this podcast right now, and you're like, oh, you guys are funny. Yeah, we've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
I went out every single night for a full month before I wrote a joke that got a chuckle.
Yeah. We've all been there. The open mics were the worst.
Open mics were terrible. Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
What is the weirdest gift someone has sent you? Have you guys?
I'll tell you a creepy ass story.
I got.
Yes.
If it's a creepy story, do we want to wait for story time?
No, this can be done in like a few seconds.
Okay.
Gotcha.
A fan found out, because I got laid off last year in October. A fan found out, and I don't know how she found my address, but she just dropped off a Target gift card, and in the card it was like, hey, sorry you got fired or laid off. Here's a Target gift card. Thank you so much for the money. I don't know how she found the address. I'm very concerned.
Well, okay. That's fine.
If you're watching this, please let me know who you are so I don't feel as scared anymore. But yeah.
Wow. Now, I've just gotten a whole bunch of like soft things, which has been really nice. like I'm talking like so many stuffies. Like
Mudkip.
It's Mudkip,
I
right?
have a Totodile right here. Hold on.
What?
Yo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I really wish I had a Squirtle right now, but
oh my gosh.
Totodile is my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Starter? Really? Mine is Mudkip, followed very closely by Rowlet. I was like, cute.
The weirdest thing I've ever gotten and I get a lot of like state themed things. I get food in the mail a lot, which is like a weird one. But one time, someone sent me a package, and it was like a circle box, but inside of it were like 2 transparent tubes. It was like cellophane, and in those were just like, you know what Smarties are? Like the chalky round discs?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, yeah.
imagine those, but like larger and thicker and colorless.
What?
And it was
What?
2 tubes of those in an unmarked back package.
I
No
hate
color.
that.
It was just gray discs, chalky. And I was like, I don't know what you just said. There was no note.
No.
It didn't have a
Mentos?
name on it. No, nothing. And I was like, this is anthrax. 100%.
Yeah.
This is-
No. I was about to say that feels like drugs.
Yeah, so I threw it
Yeah,
away
that's what
immediately, and I had no complications after that. But I was like, "Oh, lordy!" I still don't know
Yeah,
what
wait.
it was.
Crazy.
The best question, or at least one that I certainly love. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized tigers or 1 tiger-sized duck?
Tiger-sized duck.
Tiger-sized duck.
Duck-sized tigers. And here's
What?
why.
100.
Because 100. I understand 100, but here's the thing. At that point, they're just house cats. That's
No,
adorable. I
they're
love
not.
cats.
They're still
Yeah,
You
tigers.
can get overpowered by 100 house
I
cats.
think I could, but
Yeah.
but I think that they'd be afraid. You know what I mean?
No.
I feel like I could freak them out.
Absolutely not, because they're still tigers, Ryan.
Guys, tigers are 800 pounds. You're going to fight an 800-pound duck? Get out of here.
Absolutely I am. I
I'm
would
gonna cut
choke
its
an
throat.
800-pound duck.
How are you going to get your arms around it?
I'm gonna no, dude. I don't even need to. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna feed it Pepto-Bismol and watch it explode. Like, it's not hard.
That's hilarious. That's really funny. No, this is a hand-to-hand thing, though. This is absolutely hand-to-hand.
Yeah,
At
okay.
this point-
I'll shove the Pepto-Bismol down its throat with my bare
No, you don't-
hands. Like, is that
Somebody
what you
give me
want?
Pepto-Bismol.
Look,
you don't
I'm
have
not
Pepto.
afraid of a duck. I don't care how big it is. 800-pound duck, come at me, bro. I will mount it. I will ride an 800-pound duck.
I feel like I would die, but it would be a lot less shameful than. Well, I say that. You know, I've dealt with ostriches, obviously, throughout my life,
No,
and
no,
that's
it's not
always been
obvious.
like.
You carry on.
Look, the duck
Yeah.
doesn't have like opposable claws.
No,
It doesn't
That's
have
what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't
jaws.
really have defense mechanisms other than its beak. So you can there's ways to get around it. Tigers still have claws, teeth, everything going for them.
Absolutely.
At that point.
They're little.
No,
They're kitties.
Ryan, yeah, they're
They're
the size of a
kitties.
little cat, but like the mentality of a tiger.
House cats have the mentality of a tiger. They're just
They
not
do
good at it
not.
because they're tiny.
And that's
you're
what
in a
all of the
fight.
yeah.
It's
Ugh,
crazy.
House cats
They don't know we're gonna
attack
fight.
to run.
I know I'm in a
that
fight.
was a
They
little
don't
too
know.
wholesome, though. You're like, oh, they're so cute.
I would
That's
never-
how you would
look.
die, Ryan.
I would.
There would be 100 duck-sized tigers attacking you, and you wouldn't defend
I'd be like,
yourself. You'd go in for a hug.
Look, that's how I want to go.
You would
If I
run
went
towards
out-
them, exposing your jugular. Like,
It's gonna be quick and soft. How else do you want to die? Tell me. Like, I just.
so many ways.
I mean, we're talking about duck feathers, the softest thing that's used for pillows. So
If you woke up as someone else on the podcast, what would be the first thing you do?
So we were reading this one.
I would swear to TikTok fans on Youth Pastor Rhymes.
You absolute monster. That's such a good
I
one.
would say the F word.
Oh my gosh. I would just add the state of Missouri to Ben's group. Like that's I think just what I do. I think I just add the state of Missouri to be like, there, now it's right.
I would look in the mirror to see which one of you I was.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's the first thing I would do.
Dan and I were talking about this because I was like, I don't know what part of the brain goes over and what part doesn't. So I'd be like, if I woke up and I was Dan, like, would I be gay? You know what I mean? And so, and as Dan said, well, my body would still be turned on to like men, but maybe like my brain would be in there. So I'm just there like, why is this happening? Like this is
And then everyone else is like, you know exactly why that's happening, Ryan.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I really don't. Like,
What's going on? That's wild. How would your younger self react to who you are today?
that's such a like nice question. That's just wholesome. I mean, if this goes well, I mean, I don't know. I think younger me would be like, dude, you get to play video games for a living. Like you get to like, you make people laugh. Like, dope. Like, honestly, me from like 3 years ago would be like,
Yeah.
hey, like, honestly, like, as I told you guys recently, you know, I got fired from a job, got sexually harassed out of the job. Like now like can pay all my bills like through comedy. Like I would high five me, and it would be cool. Yeah.
I honestly think, I think genuinely, like, I think the honest truth is like being gay too. I think the fact that I'm out and like actually dating men, I think that would make me a lot happier down the line. So I think my younger self would be pretty proud.
I don't have anything that pure. Like both of you guys are like, we overcame adversity, and I've had a lot of adversity, but like honestly, I think my younger self would look at me now and be like, so I was right.
Oh my god!
Just like about everything, life, jobs, college, I was right the whole time.
Yeah, I did that.
That makes sense.
I love how it's like Dan and mine are from like the position of someone who just wanted to make it, and Ben's is from the position of a narcissist. Like, I mean,
I don't even think it was like it came out narcissistic for sure, but like my whole life has just been like, even just like when I was a kid, just I've not had an easy life by any means, but like the whole time I was just going, I'll be fine. Like I was never worried about anything. I was just like, it'll be all right. And then when I got older and more life started happening, I was like, college is pointless. Jobs are pointless. I'd rather be poor and happy than rich and miserable. And then if I keep up with something, it's gonna.
Pete Holmes'
work.
crashing quote at all?
What?
Pete Holmes' crashing quote. Like his quote is essentially, it's either him or it might be Bill Burr's actually. I think is that would you rather be like right now we're all sleeping on a couch and you're just hoping you want that white picket fence, you want that family, you want all that stuff. But what if you got there and you were sleeping next to someone that you didn't love, with kids that didn't like you, in a job that you hated, and all you wanted was to be sleeping on that couch chasing a dream.
Exactly.
And that's kind of like,
and that's that's been my mindset my entire life. No matter what it was that I was pursuing, I was like, I'd rather do this thing because it makes me happy than this thing because people tell me what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So it's not even from a place of narcissism. It literally just like a kid being like, so I was right. Like I didn't make a whole bunch of mistakes this whole time going after that. Great. Knew it. I'm gonna do it more.
Yeah. Beautiful. Hey, that was pretty wholesome, Ben.
That was really wholesome. Yeah. Yeah, you're pure. You're pure.
I don't hate being pure. It just, I'm a little chaotic. That's all.
No, we're aware.
If you got sucked into a movie, what movie would you want it to be?
Scott Pilgrim, for sure. I would like to be in Scott Pilgrim in some way, shape, or form. Okay,
the further question: do you think we get to pick who we are?
See,
because I would hate to be sucked into a superhero movie and find out to be like Jim.
You're right.
Just a guy who works in an office building that gets attacked. Or like I'm living in Wyoming and nothing's even happening. I'm like, you mean there are superheroes here and they don't even like come by? That would be worse. That'd be way worse.
You get to watch Superman in real life on the news. You're like, situation.
Like this thing. Oh my gosh! If you were in the Harry Potter universe, I'd live in Missouri. Okay, like that's not.
You're still a Muggle.
Yeah, right. Nothing would change.
My Hero Academia has movies, so I'm gonna pick any of the My Hero Academia movies because like 80% of the population of My Hero has a quirk.
Has quirks. Yep, I think that's cool.
The odds are good on that one.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have a dumb one. Ryan is able to hover 3 inches off the ground while not going in any direction. What? Who needs this?
Dodgeball people.
Best and worst parts of being labeled comedians on TikTok.
I can't think of any bad parts of it, but the problem is we are not labeled comedians on TikTok. We're literally labeled influencers.
Yeah, I think that's the problem is when we do jokes, then people all of a sudden take things way more seriously, and it's like, no, that was clearly wordplay. You know what I mean? Like, these are jokes.
Have you guys seen the comments on my videos?
No.
One of them, it's like a minute long, and like probably 35 seconds of it is just different ways to say dick. And people are like, I can't believe you would make this about trans people. And I'm like, that was that was 3 lines and not even like bad. Most of this video is euphemisms. And, okay.
Yeah, it's just, dude, I did a video where I talked, like, I'm in stigmatized of talking about, and it's the Confederate flag. Like, I'm from Missouri, like, we've seen it. And we know it's technically like the battle flag of Virginia or whatnot, but there was a lot of things. Point is, it was used by the South in the Civil War and is now still used dude, I did a video about it, like, because I was in Pennsylvania and I saw that flag in Pennsylvania. I was like, that's the North. Yeah. Like why are you flying in here? Like, that's the whole joke. That's the whole joke. Is just they weren't part of the South. Why are you flying it up here? And that was the whole joke. And people, I got a comment on the video from months ago. It's like, learn your history. And it's like, no, dude, I've got degrees in this, literally in Civil War. I know this stuff. Yeah. It's just, I'm not insulting you though. I'm just making a joke that we are in the North, and this doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's right.
Try being the person that literal teenagers come to for the news.
Dude, I could never do what you do.
That's how the vibe. I had to. Okay, people want to know why I stopped doing vibe check videos. Yeah. It got really hard. Yeah. It got really hard to deal with the comment sections on vibe check videos because people were so like.
People have opinions.
They started just like ruthless. It got to a point where it was just like they tried to figure out like parts of my life, and they were commenting things like, just got kind of bad. So if you want to know why the vibe check stuff stopped, blame all the people in the comment section.
Yeah, dude, that's why I moved because I got I got a comment on the video from this week from someone going, "You actually changed my mind on this subject."
Yep.
And I was like, I guess I got to keep doing it. I was gonna keep doing it anyway, but
I was gonna stop you, but like.
It's wild.
That is it. That's everything that we had for this week on The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. Ryan, if they want to find you anywhere else, where do they go?
Youth Pastor Ryan on TikTok, Ryan Kelly Comedy on Instagram, Youth Pastor Ryan pretty much across the board, and youthpastorryan.com if it'll give you the list.
Dan?
I am Daniel Spence on YouTube, Dan Bam Bam everywhere else, except for Snapchat, which is Dan YOLO Love.
And if you just go to benbrainard.com, I got my whole list on there. If you want to contact the podcast, you can email podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. Send in your questions, whatever you want us to talk about, we'll get to it. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.